This is the Midland Home Service from East Anglia.
There was an old man and he lived in the wood, and his trade was selling brooms. He had one son, and his name it was John, and he laid abed till it was noon, bright noon, and he laid abed till it was noon.
The last of 4 programmes of traditional songs sung by Sam Larner of Winterton, Norfolk.
And stand for Maine was so wrong and so strong, and stand for North Point which never point wrong. Oh, stand for oars of the boats they belong, and P for our pumps we all jog on. Merrily, cheerily, merrily are we, no mortal on earth like a sailor at sea. Heave away, all away, I do our down, give a sailor his grog, and there's nothing go wrong. And now what next do you want?
How's your voice, all right?
Yes, that's
Well,
right.
then, to follow immediately after that one, let's have The Lofty Tall Ship.
What do you want, that one?
Yeah.
All right. Now the pirates, these are the pirate ones. Oh, as we were I want that low, because that's the way I think that'll do it this way. As we were God sailing, 5 cold frosty nights, 5 cold frosty nights and 4 days. It was there we espied a lofty tall ship. She come bearing down on us brave boys. Now where are you going, you lofty tall ship? How dare you to venture so nigh? For I have turned Robin all on the salt sea, to maintain my 2 brothers and I. Now come heave up your courses, and let go of your main sheets, and let her come under my lee, and I shall take from you your rich merchants, good merchants, goods, and I'll point your bow guns to the sea. Now he said to him, I shall not heave up my courses, nor let go of my main sheets, nor I let her come under your lee, nor you shan't take from me my rich merchants, good merchants, goods, nor you'll point my bow guns to the sea. Now broadside to broadside these 2 vessels did lie. They were fighting for hours or more, till at length Henry Martin gave her a broadside, and she sank, and she never rose more. Sad news, Henry Martin, sad news I've to tell. Sad news I'm a-going to tell, of a lofty tall ship lost on the salt sea, and the most of a merry man drowned. That's the one.
Yes, that's a lovely one too. A version of the famous North Country ballad of Henry Martin, who turned pirate to support his 2 brothers. Now, here's another bit of law-breaking. Will Watch, the bold smuggler. They made wonderful Staffordshire figures out of him, as well as songs.
One morn, when the wind from the north wind blew keenly, when strongly the brave waves rolled on the shore, Will Watch, the bold smuggler, was sailing down. I can't do it. Then he'd coil up his ropes and he'd anchor on shore. He'd finish, you see. They caught him. Whereas, where the light was sucking, oh, if I could only bring that to memory. Oh, you'd like it, because that was a lovely thing where he, I can't get it in. Go hide him singing, man, or I can't memorise it. I can't. Ain't that funny now?
Well, if you consider the number he does remember, it doesn't seem funny at all. Not to me, anyway. In these songs, the world seems full of villains, male and female. Now, I call this next one the Portuguese card sharp. And the card game, by the way, is an old one called All Fours, in which you had to get Jack, Ace and 2, the deuce, to win.
As I walked out on one midsummer's morning, it happened to be on a sunshiny day. 'Twas there I espied a pretty fair damsel, as she was got walking along the highway. 'Twas there I espied a pretty fair damsel, as she was got walking along the highway. I stepped up to her and bid her good morning, saying, where are you going so early this morn? She said, kind sir, I'm going to Lisbon, in that little town wherein I was born. Now we had not been walking scarcely half an hour, before acquainted came we. She said, kind sir, come sit you down by me, and there I will play you a sweet civil game. And he said to her, but I, pretty fair maid, I'm not given to gaming, but still for all that I am willing to learn. Now the game that we play, it shall be as all fours, and that I can beat you 3-1. Now she cut the cards, it was my turn to deal them. I dealt her all trumps, I alone had poor Jack, and she had the ace and the deuce for to follow, which are the very best cards in the pack. Now she led off her ace, and she stole poor Jack from me, which made her both low Jack and the game. She said, kind sir, I freely beat you, unless you can play the game over again. Now I put on my hat, and I bid her good morning, although she was low Jack and the game. She said, kind sir, call this way tomorrow, and we'll play the game over and over again.
And now, the ghost ship.
Oh, the Queen, she wants sailors to sail on the sea, which made pretty Polly stouter to bleed, saying, William, dear William, don't you go to sea. Remember the vows that you made unto me. Now it was hardly next morning, before it was day, he went to his Polly, these words he did say, saying, Polly, pretty Polly, you must come along with me, before we are married, my friends for to see. Now he led her through groves and through valleys so deep, which made pretty Polly stouter to bleed. saying, William, dear William, you've led me astray, on purpose my innocent life to betray. Oh yes, dearest Polly, 'tis true all thou said, for all this long night I've been digging your grave, in the grave being open, and the spade standing by, which made pretty Polly to weep and to say, oh, pardon, dear William, my innocent life. I never did regret to be your dear wife. I'll travel the country over, all for to set you free. Remember the vows that you made unto me. No pardon I'll give. And with it he drew out a long daggered knife. He stabbed her to the heart till the blood did then flow, and into the grave her fair body did throw. Now he buried her securely and up all quite sound, not thinking this body would ever be found. He then went on board for a sailor to go, not thinking this murder would ever outthrow. Now 'twas early one morning, just before it was day, our captain came up, and these words he did say, our ship she's in mourning, and she cannot sail on. There's a murder on board which have lately been done. Then up jumped a sailor, indeed that not me. Then up jumped another, the same he did say. Then up bumped old William, to stamp and to swear, indeed it's not me, sir, I'll vow and declare. He hastened back to the forecastle with speed, and he met his pretty Polly, which made his heart bleed. She ripped him, she stripped him, she tore him in three, because he had murdered a baby and she. That's the goose ship.
Ah, sad little ballad. Now let's end with something more cheerful. Let's end, as we've started each of these programs, with Green Broom.
There was an old man and he lived in the wood, and his trade was selling brooms. He had one son, and his name it was John, and he laid abed till it was noon, bright noon, and he laid abed till it was noon. Now Johnny arose and he sharpened his knives, and away to the woods to cut broom. He binds them all round, carries them through the town, crying, maids, do you want any brooms, green brooms? Crying, maids, do you want any brooms? Now the ladies so I from our window did spy young Johnny a-selling her brooms. Now if you'll forsake your trade, and do what I persuade, and marry a lady in bloom, green bloom, and marry a lady in bloom. Now Jack gave consent, and to church they went, and he married that maiden in bloom. Now I'll vow and protest, there's not one in the West can equal the lad that sell brooms, green brooms, can equal the lad that sell brooms.
Well, there we are. That's an end. Only of these programs, of course. Sam Larner's still very much alive, and I hope he's listening. Some people, you know, say that this sort of singing's dead, and that cultivating it is self-conscious artiness. But I like to think it's part of our rather tarnished heritage, and that sometimes, through people like Sam Larner, we can meet it, face to face and heart to heart.
That was the last program of songs sung from his memory by Sam Larner. This recorded program was edited and introduced by Philip Donnelan.